So Ron, the other night we were drinking a glass of wine, or maybe it was two, and we said, maybe we should write a book, because we are the ultimate of rags to riches, from unemployment to building a business and a desire to really give it shit.
And being broke. Flat broke is how we started. Yeah.
And I remember when we met online. So before being online was even a thing. And everybody said, don't go online to meet your partner. And everybody meets their partner online right now. Yeah. So we were already ahead of our time.
We were pioneers back then. Yeah.
And so we meet online. And I'm 39, I think. And you're 55 or something like that, 54. And what happened was you told me what you did. You said, well, I do mortgages. And I'm like, mortgages? What's that all about? Because, after you go through the dating thing, you try to get into what the person does for a living.
Well, what you actually said was, I'm not very good with numbers, so I don't think that would be for me.
Yeah.
And the rest, as they say, is history.
Right.
You're great with numbers now.
Yeah. Well, I was not a numbers person, but you realize that this business is nothing about numbers. And it was about solutions. So when we got together, we were flat broke. Yeah. You were coming out of a divorce, and I was very much into finishing my divorce with 4 children. You had raised your family, and we come together like, boom, right? And we say, we have nowhere to go but up, because we are on rock bottom.
Yeah, that's true.
And so true. You had terrible credit. Mm-hmm. You'd come out of a bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. I had collections on my credit bureau. And we tried to figure out what we're going to do. And we say, well, you know what? Let's start a business. And we started in the smallest town that would be even possible to start a business, in a town of 5,000 people. And you said, what did you say when we started there? You came from Toronto.
We need a bigger market. There's not enough people here.
And so what did we do?
Well, the only thing we could do. I got a marketing background in education, so without having money to advertise and promote, I did up these flyers by the hundreds, which we kept in the car. And everywhere we went, whether it would be a laundromat, a restaurant with a board, a tack board, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Community boards mm-hmm. outside. Yeah. We would put them up there.
Yeah, and what was the
and
car?
Go refill them a month later.
The car we drove was a Trans Am?
Grand Am.
Grand Am, not Trans Am. It was a Grand Am that had 2 new motors in it. And it was just like a piece of crap.
You had your second new engine in it.
Yeah, second new engine. And we would, just have enough money to put it in the gas tank. And when we come home, lo and behold, someone had given us a call. Because what I saw was, people don't know this. I came from a journalism background. And so I was a reporter, and I was very curious about how the whole thing worked. I came from, my husband always signed the mortgage. He always said, sign here. I didn't even know what I was signing. Mm-hmm. I didn't understand it. I just go in there, I'm doing right by you. Little did I know we were refinancing our house. I found out later. Yeah. But what was amazing was every day we woke up and we said, let's see if we can help people. And I remember you saying, chastising me, saying, Tracy, you're spending too much time with clients. Remember that?
Yep.
And what did you say? What were you saying back then?
You spent enough time to do 2 deals with that client. I was transactional oriented. You were people oriented.
Yeah.
And I ended up learning from you
mm-hmm.
that I needed to spend more time to engage the client, the customer, yeah. right? To create that connection with them and to make it personal, to understand, ask them questions about their family, the kids, their life, where they work. So, and we would put that in our notes to remind us down the road if we needed to look at them. But I think the biggest challenge that we had, Trace, was was educating the public. The public back then, 20 some years ago, did not know really what a mortgage broker was or did. And so I decided to take the educational role, starting with the flyers, and we got on the Brian Allen show for 1 hour.
A radio program.
Free talk show.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a whole hour. We thought it went sensationally well. We thought our answering machine would probably be full.
We had an answering machine back then for people that you actually don't know. Most people don't know what an answering machine is.
We felt that so good about
that 1 hour interview.
And we're so disappointed when there wasn't one phone call waiting for us when we got back. Long story short, what happened was everybody was talking about that program. Say, did you hear what they said about the banks and this and that? We ended up getting approximately 50 deals over the next 2 years from that one radio show.
Right.
And because we keep track and we ask everybody where they heard about us, et cetera, et cetera. And so that was the beginning of it. And then eventually when we got a little bigger and had some good volume going, we went into the Wellington Advertiser, which was a regional newspaper, right? To get us down south to the Guelph market, and it was the best decision we ever made.
So we were
every
blogging.
Friday,
remember, we were blogging before blogging was even a word. So we said, I kept saying, people don't know this, and I was doing the success stories because there were so many people that we were helping, and the word was spreading. And I said, as soon as I would meet a client or whatever, and I would see, oh, there's a particular situation that we were able to overcome for them. And I would put it in layman's terms, just trying to help people and how we help them either get into a house or buy a rental property or refinance. And it was like golden to us. And you were doing the marketing trends back then, telling people what was going, telling them to be calm in a situation like now where people are starting to freak about their mortgage payments going up and that the rates are going up. We were the voice of calm, and we continue to be the voice of educating to this day, educating the public about mortgages. Yeah.
They're really comparing. I mean, when people would ask me, why should we choose you, or what are the benefits of working with a mortgage broker? From time to time, I would chuckle and say, have you got a half an hour? Because there are just that many benefits to using an independent professional who's going to look out for your best interests and your interests only. Whereas the bank is after selling, looking after the bank's profit margins and selling multiple products. So they're not even experts in mortgages. We are, and we're formally educated and regulated to a certain standard. So a mortgage broker, generally speaking, we told them back then, still the case today, has a much higher professional content to it when you use a mortgage broker, a good mortgage broker, not a bank.
Remember when we started, the mortgages were so small. They were only like 70,000, and you were dealing with Toronto mortgages that were at that time 400,000, and you're like, Tracy, we're going to starve here because the mortgages are so small, and we are always paid by the lender. But you could see the difference between Toronto and here. But what else was the difference between starting in rural Ontario with a mortgage brokerage and being in Toronto? You saw the differences right away coming from Toronto.
Well, yeah, in small towns and being up north, Mount Forest, right? I was going to say where it was. There's less employment up there. A lot of people are self-employed, a lot of people are farmers, or they work for government. You didn't have the same mix of population and jobs, the breadth of job variety that you do in the city. So the deals were all tough deals. You cut your teeth, and I've been in the business for several years, but that was kind of new to me too. Everyone was just so tough to do, and we had to figure them out. And do you remember the time that we went to our head office, and here I am with all the experience, and the broker said to you, Tracy, you have a gift. You can figure things out. And you did. You wouldn't leave a stone unturned. Well, maybe if that isn't going to work, what about this? What about that?
I know in those early days. In those early days, you're going.
And I thought I was the creative one, but you ended up being more creative than me.
I didn't have any boxes. That made this synergy between you and me was really, really important, because I didn't have any boxes. I'm like, well, I need to get here, and we're here. How do we get there? and I threw a lot of shit against the wall. Not shit, but I threw a lot of.
Got that. Start that sentence over.
Yeah, I started to think, okay, well, why not try this? Why can't we? And I got breakthroughs that were unimaginable, and miracles happened for people. Miracles, because I had to tell the story of why that client should have a mortgage, why they should have this house. And I had to tell the story behind it, and at that time we were seeing
to the lender.
Yeah,
they had to understand.
And there weren't a lot of lenders. There was only the major banks back then. So now we had a whole bunch of lenders that we said, okay. Well,
and a lot of them didn't even lend up there. They just wanted to be in the city. Like
they
Guelph,
wanted to be in the
Kitchener,
city, yeah.
You name it, right?
And now they're all over. So, it was, and then we, talk about a problem. We created so much business that we went through another stage where I was really burning out. And you get to a point where, you just keep helping more and more people, and nobody gives you the blueprint of how to start a mortgage company. We just thought we were going to have a little mortgage company. How many mortgages did you say that will have a good life? This is cute. You said, Trace, we're in a small town. We have a small mortgage, and you said what?
Well, they were about $1,200 commission back then. Say 15.
Yeah.
Say 15.
Yeah.
And I said, if we make $60,000,
yeah,
the two of us
in
a year,
yeah,
that'll be comfortable. I can live with that.
We have a good life, right?
Well,
yeah. So in the
we
beginning,
rolled right through that.
We rolled through that first year, and then now we're helping over with our team over 300 families and couples and single people. Every single year we're helping over 300, and miraculously through a lot of growing, because you know what, you don't really go anywhere in this world unless you grow and expand. I really believe that, right?
Yeah, I just thought of something. It was so cool that we would get, remember the young couple buying first-time home buyers from Kingston. And I said, I'm really curious. I said, how did you hear about us? And they said, well, we were at dinner with our parents in Fergus. And they had an article that you'd written, and they cut it out, and they gave it, that I'd written, and they gave it to them and said, when you're ready to buy, you got to call these people, not the bank. You got to call these people, and they did. And we had somebody from Windsor. It was the same situation. Somebody told them about us, and so we were growing our reach, right?
Right.
Just by hook and by crook.
Yeah.
And it was pretty
because
cool.
You know what, the best form of advertising, and we knew that because we were both in the business.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth is by far referral. And what happened was, I saw these first-time home buyers, and then I saw them get their kids, and now those kids are buying houses, and I feel so old. So that's why I want to continue the legacy. I want to continue. I brought my daughter into it, our daughter, and she's doing phenomenal, and built a great team. And then we opened our office here in Guelph 5 years ago, and we decided we were going to start training agents. And that's what we're up to right now. We want other people to realize that this is really soul-filling work, and that they can actually create a lifestyle and a career that they never even imagined, while filling their soul by helping people get into homes, manage their cash flow, buy a rental, buy a cottage. And when you're part of people's life, what are those called? Life events. When you're part of that, when they get their first house, you never forget that feeling of being part of that, and you never forget ever.
It's my very first deal.
First-time
home buyer.
First-time home buyer. Yeah, you never forget that. And when you're part of that, it's almost like being there when you're watching, like I did, my first grandchild being born. These are monumental events in people's lives, and you're part of it, and you can give them a hand up throughout their life, because you can't even go to your own parents. I couldn't go to my dad. My dad told me to be a saver, and I was a spender, right? So our parents didn't really tell us anything about mortgages, and I think that's the thing today too. Parents aren't involved. Everybody's busy, so people do go online. but do your research. And now, we
Well,
put a lot of stuff out
Sure,
there.
and the banks actually did us a lot of favors over
True,
the years
true.
because people would come to us and either at the 11th hour they weren't closing their purchase.
They were
The
pre-approved,
bank pulled
remember?
the plug on them. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were pre-approved and all hell was breaking loose, right?
Yeah.
And so we started to write those stories, these horror stories of people's experiences with the banks.
Yeah.
And let them know things like, we answer the phone live,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You never get a live person at the bank.
Yeah.
So it was stuff like that
It's that
helped us.
homey stuff. Those really we're human beings. We're not a mortgage.
No,
we're
care.
human beings, and we care about
They-
what their
They
situation.
could see that we really cared, and we do.
Yeah.
And we want to keep them out of harm's way.
Yeah.
That's why we give them the advice that we give them regarding the banks and of course other mortgage products
Yeah.
too. And that's how it grew. You got to be in the business, any business long enough to become successful. You got to build a reputation so that your word of mouth starts to generate business without advertising, right?
And really, we were an overnight success. 25 years. No, it was a lot of hard work, and people
Well, wait a minute.
underestimate how much work it is to be a successful business
Help
person.
me, I don't recall. Remember we got to that point, I didn't call it a crossroads, but we knew that we had arrived because the number of new mortgage clients that we got in a year was really becoming a major factor and part of our volume in our business, right? And once you get there, you're pretty stable and pretty solid.
Yeah.
And we just built on it from then on, and it felt so good. And the reward, like you say, hon, it's just amazing. When I was single in the business, it just was nothing like it is with the two of us when we got together.
Oh,
and
we
took
cried
off.
together.
We've had fun with it.
We had fun. We celebrated all of those successes. You were so smart in those early years. You said, let's celebrate all the successes. Like, I don't care what happened this week. There was always something to celebrate.
Yeah.
We'd have and you always said, don't take a client on Friday night. Never take a client on Friday night. I worked Saturday. I worked all through the week and don't take a client on Friday night. That's our night.
Well, like anybody new in any business, you've got to work evenings, work weekends as hard as you have to work to get a foothold, right? And start making some progress.
Yeah, but it was you and me, baby, that did it.
Yeah.
We did it. We had an idea just in that beginning of helping some people, and we decided that, hey, let's give it, and we did it.
And your life skills put you in great stead, if you will, to do this job that you're doing. To
Life
act as
experiences.
You're a consultant, you're an advisor. Well, we both are, right?
Yeah.
We advise people.
Yeah, people going through divorce. See, that's the thing. You don't really realize as a mortgage broker that, the fact that I was a single mom with raising 4 kids was actually going to help me help other women keep their homes, because I knew how to do it. And you getting divorced and, raising children and all of those life experience, the knocks that we were given, from going up here to down there, having lots of money and having no money. So that really, I think that I had to go through those humbling experiences in order to be the best broker I could possibly be, because, I always hated going to a bank. I felt like I was small and insignificant, and I had no power. And I thought when we started, I said, you know what? I never want to make our clients feel like I felt in the bank. I'm going to tell them what they're doing right. I'm going to tell them how we can improve it. And everybody comes into us thinking they're doing a lousy job of their finances. And we change that whole scenario. No. You're doing dynamite. Think about what you have encountered and how you've overcome. And this is fantastic. So, I love empowering people with knowledge, and I'm an information junkie myself, and I have learned from every one of our clients. Every one of our clients has given me a tidbit that I can pass on to all of our clients, and now leaving the legacy with our new agents, our daughter Melanie, and our team back home. So
right. As we sail into the sunset.
Yeah.
It's been a great ride.
It has
really
been a great ride.
It's been so fulfilling,
Yeah.
rewarding, fun, sad.
Yeah.
stressful.
Stressful.
You know, losing a deal that you did a great job on,
Yeah.
and those things happen, right?
Yeah.
They're life.
Yeah.
So it's been wonderful.
Yeah, it's
really, really
you know
good.
what? Who would ever imagine 25 years ago when we started, we'd be here.
I didn't.
With this great,
A great team. We haven't
great
said
team.
anything about
Yeah.
our team. Everybody on the team bought into our corporate culture, right? And that was obviously to put the customer first and never overpromise,
Yeah.
but over deliver.
Yeah.
Exceed their expectations.
Yeah.
And so they followed that to a T really, really well. And people knew they could rely on us, right? We said we're going to do something, we're going
Yeah.
to get back to them.
Yeah.
We got back to them.
Yeah.
We didn't hold, like bank manager, right, has your file, he goes on vacation for 2 weeks and nobody touches it.
Yeah.
We've seen that so often. And a house is closing and nobody's even looking
Nobody
at that
cares.
file. Nobody even cares.
Right.
So
Yeah,
there's
that
such a
was a
night and
very
day
good
difference
point.
between the
That was
banks
that's
and
a
us.
very good point that you brought up, and that's that we always made sure that we had enough people as we grew, and so many businesses don't do that. We wanted to make sure that everybody was always handled, that we were never too busy for people, because you grow your business and it becomes an issue. You don't have enough time. That happened to me, to get those deals, and you don't want
Right.
to let those people down. So you make sure you have your people in place and actually have them in place before that happens, that there's always that after service. Like, what happens if your taxes aren't they're taking the wrong amount for your taxes, or you want to pay your taxes, or you want to go bi-weekly, or you want to make changes to your mortgage. There's nobody around. You try to get anybody on the phone right now, from a credit card company to the bank, you can't even get any service. So we cut through the chase and get those things done that nobody else would care to do, because you've been sold your mortgage and it's over. Well, we don't look at it that way.
No.
You are our client for the whole term that we look after you. And interesting, a few will leave, but they always come back. Even those people that may have left and said, well, we'll go try somebody else, whatever, they always come back and they say, oh man, oh, why did we ever leave you? Were we ever crazy to do that? Like, nobody even talked to us. Nobody looked after us. There's a good feeling when you know that somebody's got your back. That's the way I look at it. Somebody's got your back.
How cool is it when we've made friends of our clients? Friends.
Yeah.
You know? Come over for dinner. Birthdays, anniversaries, are always in touch with them,
Yeah.
and it's I can't think of anything better. I love what we've done.
Yeah, I love what we do.
Still do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Biggest financial transaction for most people in their lifetime, right? So it needs to be treated that way.
Yeah.
Don't think a mortgage is a mortgage.
Yeah.
It's not.
That's
Or a
right.
rate is a rate. You've got to know all the inside information, which is what we give you, so that you can make an intelligent decision.
Right.
That's best for you.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Anyways, I'm very proud
So am
to
I.
be your business partner and wife and
Yeah. Me too.
and best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ditto, kiddo.
We did it. We
We
did
did
it.
it,
Yeah.